Good morning. This is Creative Adventure Mom. I am currently working on a little project. I'm going to do a research project with my kids as usual. We're constantly learning new things. And this particular cutout is, of course, a Cricut cutout, my favorite scrapbooking tool to use. Well, one of my favorite. I like them all. I use the Children Around the World cartridge. It's a Cricut Lite cartridge. They only sell it at Cricut.com for 39 bucks or at Walmart for $39. And I was able to get 50% off at Walmart when I purchased mine for $20. And this particular cutout, let's see, is, they call it girl number 1. I'm pretty sure you can't see that right there. Girl number 1, which is a little girl that is Native American. And what a good time to learn about the Native American culture during Thanksgiving time. I'm sure that my kids are going to be doing projects in class, so I'm sure they'll appreciate playing with the Cricut and doing their research projects. So as with the Cricut Lite cartridges, it comes with this fold out, not like the regular Cricut books. And I don't know if you guys can see this because it's so teeny weeny. Let's see if it will autofocus. No, it's not. Okay. So this is the girl number 1. This is girl number 1 in shift, which is her poncho, her boots, and part of the feather that's in her hair. I really didn't understand why there was the yellow layer when the feather on the picture was red, but I'll explain that in a minute. Okay, stop, Hannah. And this is the layer button with the hair and the top part of her boot. Her boots were 2 different colors, something that I never really realized until I looked at the small picture. And attached to her hair are the cutout for the eyes, which I'm actually glad it was already attached to the hair so that I did not have to cut out or at least glue an additional layer. And here is the top layer of the feather of her hair, and this little red piece right here goes on top of the poncho. There's a lot of little detail that they thought about, which I can appreciate. But the one thing that I will say, I wear glasses because I cannot see far away. I can see good close up without my glasses, but my glasses are for wearing them all the time. But with this little, these little pictures with all this little detail, what I'm going to do is go to the Cricut.com's website and print out the PDF of the file and enlarge it, because this is just really, really small. And before you start gluing the image, I recommend that you do a rough draft and layer it down to make sure what parts go on the actual figure before you start layering it and gluing it down and having to waste paper and rip things up. And this is, I'm going to show you what I was talking about in regards to the feather. The red feather on top has a little curve to it. I'm assuming they were trying to give it some dimension with the color. So that's where the yellow feather came in right here. So it's when you hit the button, everything prints out. I guess that's all I can say about that. And the eyes. You did have to layer the eyes once. I'm glad you didn't have to layer it 3 times. I was kind of confused. They're like half moons initially. But they go sideways. That's why I say you should layer. You should layer the image first. Without glue, so you know where everything goes. Because like the yellow thing I didn't see with the feather, and then the tops of the boots. When I printed out the hair, this printed out, I had no idea what it was. But it did give the boots some dimension, and going from top to bottom, it did, I don't know what you call it, I'm not a fashion person, but it did cut the image up so that you could see it went from the poncho to the boots, which were 2 different colors. That's my toddler that you hear in the background. Now, what I do like, which is not typical for my personality, I typically like things symmetrical and in very good order. The eyeballs, I don't know if you notice, I call this the big one, and I call this one the short one. They are not the same size, which I can appreciate, because I was able to better know which eyeball went to which side. And again, you can barely see it on here. You can barely see it on here, but when you like almost put it in front of your face, you can tell on the image the eyeball, if you're looking at her that's further away, is a smaller one. That's the only quirky thing I could say. Layer the image before you glue it, just to see where everything goes. And I cut this figure out, and it didn't take me long. I cut this figure out at 7.5 inches because I was not sure how long it was going to take me, and how many pieces there actually were to this particular cartridge. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this. And of course, as usual, I love the different skin tones that they have on here, representing children from other countries, other cultures. No, Hannah. And to get children learning about these different things. And again, this is 7.5 inches. And I was debating before I kind of looked at all the different pieces and how they fit together in detail. I was going to use darker skin, but I'm glad I didn't, because I call it, I don't know. It's not really oatmeal. It's a little bit darker. It's almost like craft paper. I think all of this paper I purchased from Arts and Scraps in Detroit. I always give them a shout out. Good quality, thick cardstock. So it's not thin. It's pretty thick, especially when you start adding on the layers. And when I cut this with my Cricut, their paper is sturdy. I usually do, I put my blade on 6. And I put my pressure on high, and I don't have any problems with taking the paper off the mat with any fraying or anything ripping, or you know how sometimes when your pressure or your blade isn't right, you'll try to take something off the paper and part will come out and part won't. When I use cardstock from Arts and Scraps, I have everything up to the max, and I don't have any issues whatsoever. Other than that, oh, the one thing that I also noticed about the cartridge, they not only, no, don't do that. They not only have the children from a particular country and culture, but they also have something that kind of symbolizes that particular child in the country. So what they had to go with the Native American girl, and in your book, you're going to see girl 1. You're going to see a teepee, which the teepee trying to get it right, uses the same colors as is in the outfit of the girl, which I thought was pretty smart on the designer's part that works for Provocraft, because what you can do is when you're printing out the girl, you can also print out the different parts of the teepee. So when you printed out the girl, all you had to do was hit Shift and TP and keep that same piece of paper. Don't unload the mat. And do the top of the teepee. Now the base is brown. You would cut that out when you cut out the hair. And then the little designs that go on top of the top part of the teepee, which would be the yellow right here and the red, it all coordinates. I thought that was fantastic idea on the part of whoever designed this particular project. And I'm always fascinated with using the Cricut cartridges for educational purposes. So again, this is Creative Adventure Mom coming to you with another Cricut project from one of my many Walmart Cricut hauls. And this again is from Children Around the World. It's a Cricut Lite Cartridge.
In the light
Again,
bar.
this was cut at 7.5 inches. Okay, I've used up enough time. I will see you again, and until the next project, Creative Adventure Mom, signing out. Please subscribe. Thank you.